What a hell of a weekend it was for really sports fans in general. Unless, of course, you're a Niners fan, which sucks to see it go down. Third string makes you all the way there, gets hurt. Fourth string comes in, fourth string gets concussion. The injured third string had to go back in. That was a headache. I didn't like the officiating across either games. I thought they were pick and choosy, but there were two good football games compared to some of the ones that we've got to witness. It was a good weekend for wrestling and the WWE. If you're a fan of that as well, the Royal Rumble Saturday night, exciting stuff. If you're a fan of it, you like wrestling, don't forget to check out Wrestling with Jesse Brzezinski, episode 222. That one's out with all my reactions to the craziness that was that night, because there was a lot. And then there was also the doubleheader weekend for Formula E in Saudi Arabia, and they had two races, and the first one was one of the better races that I've ever seen them have. Like, that was solid, legit. That was racing, and we're going to get to it. Don't you worry, we're going to get to it, because again, great racing. Some of the best racing I've seen them put out ever. First, we got to get to the General Tire ArenaCross Outlaws to Quoin 2. And yes, I realize I typed it wrong in the last episode's title. Don't ask what was going on in my head, but I fixed it. I realized it. I went, really? But I did it. And good racing. Again, just like the first time, just like the first day of racing there, except Michael Hicks dominated this one, swept both races last year, swept them both this year, and he was untouchable. Like, it was a whole different beast when he was out there. He was just gone. And again, what were we talking about before the first race of the season? New manufacturer, new team, all that new stuff. After winning 3 straight championships, what'll he do? It'll be a slow start, and he figured it out right away, and he killed it. But 250 Pro Heat 1, Michael Hicks was first, Carter B second, Cheyenne Harmon was third, 250 Pro Heat 2. Carter Gordon first, Brett Greenlee second, Eli Tetzlaff third. I just like that kid because it reminds me of Retzlaff. We had some NASCAR runs, and I think that kid's super talented as well. But that's one that sticks in my head. We went to the Open Pro Heat 1. Michael Hicks was first again, Carter B second again, Brett Greenlee was third. Open Pro Heat 2, Cheyenne Harmon first, Grant Harlan second, Carter Gordon third. I'm surprised we didn't say Harlan's name as much this week. I just expected a lot out of him, but it was a good weekend for him regardless. 250 Pro Main, Michael Hicks won that one, Grant Harlan second, Cheyenne Harmon third. And then the Open Pro Main, Michael Hicks won again, first place, Grant Harlan second, Cheyenne Harmon third. Again, I expected to hear it. There's only one race where I didn't say his name, but it's still weird because, again, if you watch it, it really is Michael Hicks, Cheyenne Harmon, and Grant Harlan up there. And, certain cast of characters rotate in and out as they go. I will say it was the damnedest thing to see. Michael Lessie, he wasn't up there in the top 3, but he had a problem with his bike after the first race, so then he borrowed one from someone the first time he ever rode it, was in the race. He got a 5th place, so that tells you the talent that he has to be able to do that. But in the end, it was just Michael Hicks' weekend. He was on it, and then you see the 2 main events for the 250s and the Open, same podium, both races. Those guys are in a whole different league right now. Championship point standings, Michael Hicks is first with 187 points. Cheyenne Harmon is second with 158 points, which puts him 29 back, and Grant Harlan's third with 155 points at 32 back. So even with them right there, the gap is still growing. And if he keeps going this way, he's going to make it a very easy 4-peat, which you don't get to hear very often anything. So it'll be cool to see it. I'm not saying it's guaranteed because anyone could fall. You can get hurt, anything. But right now, he's dominating. And then Harlan and Harmon are the 2 next closest things to him, and they have a really big lead. So they're going to be the top 3. It depends on how it all falls in place at the end of the season, because, again, anything could happen. Someone could have a bad race here and there. So we have to see how that, totally works out for all of it. But the head-to-head challenge broke it all the way down to Cheyenne Harmon defeating Carter Gordon in the final of that. The Cometic Gasket Junior Moto Challenge results. Sadly, again, big tracks, we only got to see it really, really quick. Unlike the shorter ones in Topeka, where we got to see most of the race there instead of just that kind of highlight. But I like it. Good racing across it. Sam St. John first, Ryan Smith second, Grayson Stevens third, Finn Johnson fourth, Gunnar Vaughn fifth, Ethan Sumner sixth, Tanner Schaefer seventh, Jonathan Rodriguez Jr. 8th, and Haley Anderson 9th. And again, those are future stars. Yeah, possible. They're all 7 to 11 years old. They're the little guys rolling around on there, but it's the damnedest thing. There's a lot of talent in there just to be able to do that, because we see the pros having trouble on the track and falling down, and they have a lot more experience than those little guys. So pretty cool stuff to see. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Could it have been, better the racing? Sure, on that big track, but again, no one really went down, no one got hurt. And that's the big thing, it's the biggest track they run on. It's way bigger than what they ran on to start the season in Topeka. So, if you haven't caught it, again, FS1, set your DVRs. The racing's really good and it's all fast. When they go to the normal size tracks, you can literally watch the whole race without a commercial break, which is even better. And it's really good. It's a good time. It's great racing. Again, what is giving it a chance one time going to hurt anybody? You could like it. You'll become a fan, become a regular person watching it, a regular, viewer, which helps them in the ranks, which helps sponsors, and getting things better off. See, look at that. Huh? That's how little my phone's rang today. Still got me. How about that? You win, telemarketer. You win. I honestly can't believe that it's Monday and that's the first time my phone's made a single sound all day. I didn't even realize the ringer was on. That's pretty good. Touche to them. They win that one. But it gets us to the ABBFI Formula E in Diriyah. We had Diriyah 1, Diriyah 2 at the Diriyah Street Circuit in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia. 2 races, 39 laps, 21 turn course under the lights. And I'm going to jump out and say that so far with this new car and everything, they've had much better racing. In these races, there are people that came through the field. And normally you don't see people passing 9-10 people in a race in Formula E or even, Formula One. Like, you don't see it happen. And there's been really, really good racing across it. This is the best weekend of racing. Again, late today, doing this super late, but that's because they didn't air the second race until 10:30 this morning. That one until noon, I believe, and then had to catch up on Supercross and everything else. So I was behind, but hell of a good race. I wish they would have done it, better timing and not so late. But again, set your DVR, find it. You can find Formula E and set it through. And it was great racing. Race 1, Stoffel Van Dorn started 17th. And I have to say, so far, new team coming off the championship last year, not looking good. Not looking good, like, at all. It's been a really bad one to see. Hopefully, they figure it out. They say they're figuring it out more and more. Again, new car, going to a new team, all that. So there are going to be some growing pains. He just needs to figure out, because right now he's just a year and a half behind everybody in the points. And barring people having bad races, he's not going to be able to catch him. And I was always a Stoffel guy, so I made that very clear last year on the show. Always liked him in Formula One. Glad to see him here. And again, hopefully they figure it out, but it's not starting off good. But Sebastian Buemi was on pole. Safety car was on lap 1 because everyone got into each other there in the first couple turns. I have to give them credit because the safety car only lasted a few seconds. And we know, we've heard me complain about why are we still under safety car and all kinds of, whether it's Formula 1, 2, 3, the W Series, any of it, E, we hear me complain about safety cars. Why is it taking so long? Same thing as cautions in NASCAR. And they got that one cleaned up right away. Only lasted a few seconds. Damage was between DaCosta and Roland. A lot of people got together, went to turn 1. Everyone bunched up is the better way because they went super wide. And, thankfully both, he was able to keep going. It was only a nose, but it got fixed right away. And again, quick response. You ever watch NASCAR? Sometimes we're sitting there going like this, just staring blankly into the abyss, wondering what the hell is taking so long. So it was good to see that done. Bird passed Buemi for the lead on lap 7. Great racing through the whole race. And Verline came from, in the back, and he drove his way through the field. Got the lead in lap 30 of 39. Dennis also with a great race at the end of it, getting through the field like he did, because, again, they started back there. And people like Van Dorn started 17th. He picked up 6 spots through it all with people, exiting the race and stuff. Here and there, I don't think either of them actually helped him, but he passed a few guys again. Verline looked great. Dennis cutting through the field. It was really, really good because normally, again, watch some stuff from last year. You don't see a lot of passing. I mean, there's a lot of passing opportunities. You just don't see it. And I don't know. Gave me goosebumps this weekend to see them actually racing good and all of that working out. So very good stuff. Unlike my camera, which hates me in the middle of out of nowhere. But points out of that race, Jake Dennis was first at 44 points. Pascal Verline was second at 43 points. And Sebastian Buemi was third at 23 points and back. And, so the gap is already pretty, big after that race. And if it keeps going this way, it could get worse than that race too. I'm going to say the racing was probably, it was great. Don't get me wrong, it's still one of the best, Formula E races I've seen. Not as good as race one, but more people figured stuff out, setup wise, track wise, all that. So, you're running on back to back days. Everyone figured, look at Jimmy Johnson in the IndyCar at Iowa, and they did the doubleheader. Look at him the first day, and look what they did the second day. You figure everything out. You go over your notes, you make changes, you make things better. And a lot of guys obviously did that. Hughes was on pole. Evans got the lead right from the start, much better start, and got up in front of him. It was very clean, though. I'll give him that. And again, Hughes, he's not normally a name you see him up there. So, he got beat reaction time or something. I think they looked even pretty close. It was just more aggressive, more experience up there. And it was good racing. It was much cleaner. There wasn't a safety car until lap 27. It was slightly lengthy this time around, but they did add a lap, which they have been known to do. So they get all the laps in that they're supposed to get. So it's not a bunch of just cautions. But Verline won by like a year. He was gone. It was over 2 seconds. Dennis was second, Rast third, and Hughes ran out of power. I believe it was coming to the line, which I finally got to see. I said, what happens if they run out of juice? Well, coming out of the last turn. Someone was sitting there trying to get around. He just died right there. And that was it. So it is possible for them to run out of juice. And that's one of the crazy things about the Formula E. And then go through things to get more boost. They could let off instead of braking as hard to coast to gain more battery power. But it is a, how do I put it? It's a talent to get it all the way back there because they show that, next to the running order, they show you what percentage they have left. And I'm always sitting there going, why did they run out? Turns out they can. And it's the damnedest thing. But again, really good racing. Not as good as day one, which was fantastic racing, but people figured stuff out. It's what you're going to do. Like, look at guys that ran Cup Series races, but also ran the Xfinity Series race at places and the experience that they got there. So they learned a little bit of stuff here, helping them out. It's like one of those things, in my opinion, for NASCAR. So really good. Excited to see the rest of the season. Because again, that was a really good start. And we're just getting to the beginning of it. And that was the best racing I've seen in all of my memory. So congratulations to the guys at Formula E for killing it. The Diriyah Street Circuit in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia. Points coming out of it, though. Pascal Verline first with 68 points. Jake Dennis is second with 62 points. And that puts him at 6 behind. And then Sebastian Buemi is third at 31 points and 37 behind. So the top two are 6 points apart. And then everyone else is in the whole entire other thing. And the rate they're moving right now, those two, it's going to be really hard for anyone to beat them, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but they're gone. And, crazy enough, again, defending series champion Stoffel Van Dorn is 15th with only 1 point. So he's 67 back from the leader after 3 races, which I didn't see, coming. I figured there'd be some growing pains. I didn't think that it would be, some growing pains is a few points. 67 points when you've only scored 1 point in all 3 races combined. That's not good. So there's something they got to figure out there. But otherwise, I really like what we see there. If you haven't checked it out, please set your DVR. It's on the CBS Sports Network. Sometimes they're really bad when you set it to record and what they do, but when they get it in, it's fantastic. And I think everyone should at least see what those electric cars can do, because it is just a skill to watch them have to hit the different zones that they have to, and have to lay off extra and coast just to try to build up more battery to make it to the line. Like, it actually takes a great talent to be able to race as hard as you can, finish as good as you can, and still have battery left over at the end of it. So I really dig it just because of that. So Check it out. Set the DVRs. It's good stuff. It really is. I'm not just saying it. And again, then if you don't like it, don't gotta watch it. But I think if you see them at the right track, they're really, really good. So check it out. CBS Sports Network. Set those damn DVRs. I don't think it'll let you down. Really fantastic stuff. And then the big main event for me for the weekend was Supercross Anaheim 2. The Super Motocross World Championship is the first Triple Crown race of the season, which I do like. Just because I think the intensity is turned up more. If you don't know what that is, 3 races for each 250s and 450s. There's no heat races. There's no LCQs. None of that. It's cumulative points from these 3 races. Decide the finishing position at the end. A person with the fewest points wins. Obviously, one gets 1 point all the way through the rest of the field. So the less you have, the better. Everyone gets, win that race. It still counts. But you have to finish good in all 3 to be able to get the overall win, which makes you have to pay. You can't afford to have a slip up in a bad race. And there are a few guys that learned that you couldn't have a slip up because it would cost you. And Malcolm Stewart did not race. In case anyone didn't know, if you'd hear me not mentioning his name because of a practice wreck earlier in the day. So that's another guy, that wasn't racing because of injury. We're only 3 races in. So, there's been a few of those. Hopefully, that is down for the rest of the year just because who likes watching people, racing and going down. It's not my favorite. That's not why I watch it. I watch to see people racing, making all those moves and, all of that stuff. I don't watch to see people get hurt. So we shall see, but a lot of them. Now, the 250s, each race is 10 minutes plus a lap. 450s, 12 minutes plus a lap. And there was a lot of action and a lot of damn mistakes that were happening throughout the whole night. Like the whole night. Everyone was going down left, right, and indifferently, which really caught me off guard. But RJ Hampshire, I'll give him a shot because he looked fantastic for most of the night. He got the whole shot in the first 250 race, went all the way, won the whole thing. Did it quite easily, too. Made it look good. Jet Lawrence wrecked himself. Took him out himself with about 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Fell from 2nd to 8th, and over 8 seconds back. He was way back there, but he flew the rest of the race. Fastest through the whoops by a mile, just running up on people. And RJ Hampshire got the win. Pierce Brown was 2nd, and Jet Lawrence made it all the way back up to 3rd in that last 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and he was 8 plus back. And he was running. You watched him through the whoops compared to everyone else. He was flying. So got him, those points, which he needed. But RJ Hampshire, again, looked good. Pierce Brown was good all night. There's so many mistakes. We're going to go through this, and you're going to hear, goddamn, how did that many people go down? Because it was just one turn to one spot on the track was taking out pretty much every single person, minus I think Eli Tomac he went out completely somewhere else all on his own. But it was a rough night at that spot. A lot of guys down. 450 race 1, again, 12 minutes plus 1 lap. Sexton got the early lead. Tomac was back in 6th. Justin Barcia went down with about 8.5 minutes to go. Eli Tomac 3rd, and forever he was 2nd, way back from the leaders, but it didn't matter really. But Anderson gets, into Webb. Jason Anderson, not making a lot of friends again. Gets into Cooper Webb, on the last lap trying to get by him. Webb goes down, and he broke his bike as well. It was one of those nights. But Chase Sexton got the win in the first race of the 450s. Ken Roxon was 2nd. Eli Tomac did the smart thing, didn't overly push it when he was way back there, finished 3rd. That's a safe thing to do, again, because it's a Triple Crown thing. So there's going to be 2 more races. So why overdo it and hurt yourself? Do anything, stupid. Save it for the end if you have to. So he played it smart. He played the points game. Good night. But after that, bringing on the heartache and a lot of pain because there's a lot of wrecks. So bear with me when I mention all of this. And the door. Santa just made that thing. I bet you heard that one too. See, it's a good day. Phones are ringing, doors are slamming. We're having a blast. But 250s, race 2. Jet Lawrence made contact with someone within seconds of the start and went down. And he was last. He was way back there, which was surprising, again, just because 2nd straight race, making a mistake the way he started. He hasn't done it, but then when they kept telling me, putting it up there, I didn't realize that he's just for a million and the Triple Crown events. I didn't notice that. Yeah, I never put any thought into it just because, 250 guys run a lot less of them than the Supercross guys. So, the 450 guys, shall I say, they run, they run more because, the 250 is split in between West and East. So I never even put thought together that he's had a lot of bad luck, but it continued. But thankfully for him, McAdoo, Pierce Brown wrecked together hard with about 8.5 minutes left. Nicoletti was checked out. RJ Hampshire issue with about 6 minutes left and looked hurt, didn't look good, which sucked because he was up, running good. Again, it was his night until it wasn't. But a lot of hard wrecks, like a lot of hard wrecks came out of it too. Pierce Brown down with 6 minutes to go. RJ Hampshire out because of the incident. Voland wrecks out from second with 3.5 minutes left. Robertson catches Nicoletti with 1.5 minutes to go and checked out. But honestly, Lawrence into McAdoo trying to get by him on the last lap, and Voland gets back by him. Robertson first, gets the win. Styles Robertson. Kitchen second, Nicoletti third, and Jet Lawrence got himself back up to sixth. Again, lots of contact, made right away down. And how many times did you hear me say it last year? If he didn't go down, he came back and won it. He made it exciting. But going down twice like that, you got to figure that out sooner or later. Look at all the people getting hurt. He's not going to be able to get back up no matter how young he is. Sooner or later, something's going to break or something. And it's going to cost him a lot of points. So he has to figure that out. But it was nice to see Styles Robertson get a win. Kitchen up there in second, Nicoletti third. A lot of people you got to see up there that we haven't really talked a lot about so far in the Supercross season. In the 250s West. We're taking a break, I think, for 2-3 weeks before they come back to make up the race in Oakland that was rained out, but it was good to see a bunch of different names up there. 450 race 2. Sexton down in the same quarter, drops to 8th. Plessinger down in that same quarter as well from 3rd. Ken Roxon made a mistake in 2nd with about a minute left. Let Eli Tomac get to 2nd, made one hell of a save. So he does get a shout out for that. Someone throw that out there for him. But great race between Roxon and Webb at the end. But Jason Anderson, from where he was in the first race to that race, gets the win. Eli Tomac 2nd, so another good points race for him. That was a big picture. He's always thinking it. Ken Roxon 3rd, Cooper Webb 4th, and Chase Sexton rounded out the top 5. And before we got to the final races for 250s and the 450s, we got to see the Supercross futures race, which I never got to see them do it before, on there. So that was really cool to see. Top A and B amateur racers. Riders earn points for Supercross Pro license. There's 5 premier events for them. Anaheim, where they were, Arlington, Glendale, East Rutherford, and then Salt Lake City. And the top 5 from the premier events qualify for the championship in Salt Lake City, which is really actually pretty damn cool. In my opinion, they had good racing going on there. It's 5 minutes plus a lap, 29 a beamer, damages, and, those wrecks, damage, say goodbye to that. And these are all guys that were up front too. Deegan went down from 6th. That's not Haley or Ryan. Hawkins with 2 mistakes in the lead with about a minute left, and Bennick just with a minute in that lap took the lead and drove away. He was over 5 seconds out, like he was just checked out, gone. So that's some talent there and figured it all out. But Bennick got the win. Cochran 2nd, Hawkins 3rd, even after the wreck, Davies 4th, and Deegan rounded out the top 5. So I'm looking forward to the rest of those races. Again, Arlington, Glendale, East Rutherford, and Salt Lake City. They all have these events. And get to qualify for a championship. You're in the top 5. You get to run in the last race there at Salt Lake City, which is, to qualify for the championship to run everything else. But that's really cool, for them to be able to do that. Amateur guys to be able to do these races and get their way in. They only have 5 minutes a race, so plus a lap. So really, theoretically, 5 races. It's about 30 minutes, give or take the size of the track to figure it out. But that's a good way to get people opportunities. I'm fully, for it. And again, if you're not watching Supercross, if you have Peacock, it's on there. Watch it. Commercial free too, so they cut it right out so you can get through most of, it is just racing, which is fantastic. Really, really good. Again, it was really nice to see, the little guys, the 7 to 11-year-olds in the ArenaCross. Then we got to see this in Supercross. So there's a lot of racing and a lot of young people being able to earn opportunities to race, be on TV, and to get, their license to get into Supercross here. Like, that's what you need to see in a lot of it. So that's really cool to see. Gets us back to the last race of the 250s, race 3. Jet Lawrence gets the whole shot. Finally got a good start. He needed it. Lopes down with 7 minutes to go. Brown stalls with 4 minutes to go and falls all the way to 12th. Sadly, RJ Hampshire goes down from 11th, just under a minute left and falls to 15th. He had a rough time again. He was really fast. He's gotten his way, and a lot of mistakes happen, which suck because he did have a lot of speed until all the bad luck happened again. Though there were a lot of people that went down in that one turn, like a lot. So, and a lot of mistakes again. Look at all the names I've listed. A lot of people having bad days out there, but a tricky track is what you want. So I was excited to see it, no matter how much I didn't like any of that happening. But Jet Lawrence won it first, Kitchen second, Robertson third for that race 3. Overall on the night, Kitchen gets the win and his first career win. So congratulations to him. Jet Lawrence was second and Styles Robertson third overall. So there's a good podium still. He didn't win, but second. So Jet can't be that, especially after how many times he went down, the trouble he had. Hell of a run there, but points leaving. Jet Lawrence first. Cameron McAdoo second at -16. And then RJ Hampshire still in third at -17, even with everything. So still right there neck and neck for second. Top points behind that is even farther gone, but really exciting. Again, I like the Triple Crowns. Seeing everyone out there just going for it for 3 races. There's just something about it that I like. I don't know. No LCQs, no any of that, but just go. Thankfully, there's a few more this year. So can't wait to see those. We'll see how it works out. But 450s, race 3. Jason Anderson got out to a good start. Eli Tomac down hard, like hard from 4th, trying to get around Cooper Webb. He looked a little impatient, a little frustrated because he knew he could get around him, and he had to before everyone got too far away. And, he tried to push it too hard, and he went down like crazy hard. I was just happy to see him, get back up because that was a doozy of a hit that he took. Looked like the bike probably even had some damage too, but happy he got back up. It was a doozy. It was a real doozy. Cost him it because he was right up there in contention, going to win probably just from his finishes, and that wreck did it. But frustration gets to everybody when you're faster and someone's holding you up. We've seen it in NASCAR, we've seen it in F1, all kinds of racing. So sucked that it happened, but I'm glad he got up from it because we've seen a lot of people get down, go down wrecked, and he hit hard. Not as hard as I did when I was flying through the air and slammed into the asphalt. And then that asphalt caused that. Nice half tooth. But 7 minutes to go, Chase Sexton took the lead. Tomac dropped all the way to 14th from that wreck. And then you can watch, Jason Anderson makes a mistake. Webb passes him for second with just over 2 minutes left. And then in the end, Chase Sexton got the win. Cooper Webb second. Jason Anderson rounded out, the top 3 in race 3. First Triple Crown win, a second career win overall for Chase Sexton. And then, which, is a great thing to see, first time winners, first Triple Crown things. Yeah. Winning, first time winners and wins as that don't win all the time. Seeing them win makes me feel, better, even if it's mistakes. They're the ones that didn't make the mistakes, so they got it. So it shows something for them, which I think is overall really good for them and the sport. So that's something I'm down for. We got Jason Anderson overall second, Ken Roxon third, Cooper Webb 4th, Eli Tomac back in 6th. And now the points coming out of it, we have Eli Tomac first, Chase Sexton second, and Cooper Webb is third. And they're only 4 points back. Again, because of him going to 6th and those wrecks and everything. So it didn't do him any favors in the long run. But, there's still more stuff to come, a lot more cross racing, a lot for the 450. So he'll be able to pick it up, more Triple Crowns to come. It's really cool, to see it. But good weekend, overall, again. What is there more you want? We had the NFL games, which, might not have been happy with some of the results, but they were still good, even if the officiating, I thought, sucked across the board. A lot of it, just inconsistent, I guess is what I'd call it. Wrestling, again, if you're a wrestling fan, check out the Wrestling with Jesse Rosinski episode. So 222, talking about the Royal Rumble. That was good. And then we had all the good racing, Formula E, Supercross, ArenaCross. Like, it was really, really good racing. And another shout out, First Friday episode coming up this Friday. Thanks to NASCAR doing the race Clash at the Coliseum Sunday, 8 p.m. It's going to be a nice long Sunday night for all of us on the East Coast, but these things happen, and it doesn't surprise me. So Friday I'll be back. Not sure what we're gonna do, but might just do a NASCAR preview for the whole entire season because so many people moved around, new sponsors, new teams everywhere. So I might do that. We'll see how it all falls out, throughout the week. But super excited to get Friday's, show back going again, at least this week for now, until everything fully starts back up. Exciting time. And again, Supercross, ArenaCross, like all that will keep going. Formula E is going to keep going. NASCAR is going to pick up. IndyCar, Formula One, like everything's going to keep coming. American flat track, so it's going to get better as the weeks move along. But that's where I'm going to leave it. Thanks for watching, listening, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, wherever you're at, Spotify. I appreciate you. Thanks for checking out. Please share it out. It helps me out more than you know. And until next time, deuces, I'm out.